Thank you for listening to SPN, the Savage Podcasting Network.
You're listening to The Stephen Savage Show on the Savage Podcasting Network. And now, here's your host, film and television director, Stephen Savage.
Thank you, Nicole. How's it going, everybody? Savage here with you for another episode of The Stephen Savage Show, the official podcast of the Idlewild International Festival of Cinema, coming to you, as always, from Cranium Wheel Studios in the beautiful alpine village of Idlewild, California. Just a couple hours east of Hollywood, but a world away at nearly 6,000 feet high atop majestic Mount San Jacinto and overlooking the great Coachella Valley. As a way of answering some of the DMs we've been receiving, asking who's coming up on the podcast in the weeks to come, I got a little bit of a teaser for you. Oscar and Golden Globe nominated actress Ann Archer will be returning to the show to talk more about her career and her job as head of the Idlewild Cinema Fest grand jury since 2017. My great friend Irene Bedard, the voice and model of the classic Disney character Pocahontas, will be here to speak about her great career, including her new Netflix series American Primeval, among other things. And I'm looking forward to that. And one of my partners in crime for nearly 2 decades, Oscar and BAFTA-winning screenwriter and producer Leslie Patterson, will be around to tell us what she's got going on next after the major success of her Netflix blockbuster, All Quiet on the Western Front. So stay tuned for that and more. And before I introduce our special in-studio guest for today's episode, allow me to give a shout out to a couple of our local Idlewild sponsors who display such amazing support for the Idlewild Film Festival each and every year. As we go into our 17th year, believe it or not, this coming March 3rd through the 8th. As you know, the Idlewild Festival is not corporate sponsored, but completely independent in both content and execution. And so we'd be talking about our main lodging sponsor, the Talkeets Pines Retreat, an amazing facility for weekend stays, romantic getaways, conferences, weddings, family reunions, just about any sort of gathering, large or small, you can think of. And they're a great group of people, so find them online at talkeetspines.com. Also, Faro Restaurant, the best Italian food in Idlewild and anywhere else on the planet for that matter, with your hosts Frank and Lori Faro, who they've also been festival sponsors from our very first year 17 years ago. Faro, it's Italian elevated. And to our home base, the Rustic Theater, our theater home since the festival's first season, where owners Gail and Graham Sutherland offer up first-run Hollywood movies, independent films, live music events, and more. The Rustic Theater, Idlewild, California. La Casita Restaurant, simply the best Mexican food around. La Casita, an Idlewild Film Festival favorite. And last but not least, the Peak Restaurant, located at the heart of the Talkeets Pines Retreat. It's, I don't know, you just have to see this this newer facility, the Talkeets Pines Retreat, to understand what it is. It's a beautiful acre upon acre place for all your gathering needs, and the Peak Restaurant is dead center and quite an amazing restaurant, and they host a lot of our parties and events. The premier party and event location is the Talkeets Pines and the Peak Restaurant. Great food and always filmmaker friendly. Okay, now that that's done, let's get the show on the road. My guest today is an amazing guitarist and songwriter. He's been making waves in the industry for a couple years now, and he's moving up quickly as a big name in music and beyond. Yeah, I believe he's a Malibu native, a composer at Bleeding Fingers Music in Santa Monica, and he just played a recent series of high-profile gigs in and around Los Angeles, including playing a gig with Jagger Henry at the Greek Theater a couple weeks back. All this at the ripe old age of, I don't know, he's probably 20. And he's already caught the attention of some of the music industry's heavy hitters. And he's come all the way to Idlewild today to be in the studio for a chat. So let me welcome in my friend Nino. Nino, how are you, brother? Thanks for making the trip to the mountains.
Thank you for having me.
It's good to have you, man. We had coffee earlier and just, talking, chit-chatting. And I'm excited to have you on the show. It was kind of an impromptu thing. I just kind of said, hey, would you come on the podcast? And he goes, sure, I'm here. Why not? And so, here we are. I like to kick off my interviews by allowing my listeners to learn a bit about my guests. So if you don't mind, let's start from the beginning. All those many years ago, your family, your upbringing in SoCal in the Malibu area, and exactly how you started playing guitar in the first place. So if you don't mind, give us a little insight into your life journey so far.
That's a very that's a very good question. So, it started mainly in terms when it comes to music. My journey started ever since I was a baby. My mom was playing classical music for me growing up all the time. She'd play a lot of cinematic things. She'd play movie soundtracks. And she would play R&B, a lot of different things. She really opened up my taste when it came to music in general. Also being brought up in Laurel Canyon, I went to Wonderland Avenue Elementary School.
Oh, wow.
Being in that rock canyon and having the energy that's there from all the legendary artists that have stayed there, from Jim Morrison, Big Mamas and Papas.
Everybody. The 60s was Laurel Canyon.
The 60s was Laurel Canyon. If you were in LA, you knew Laurel Canyon was the place. That's
Right.
where you would find all your popular artists, where you find your hippies. Everyone came together in this
Right.
beautiful conglomeration.
Right.
So being a part of that culture growing up really defined a part of who I am as a person, I'd say. Although that is not everything, of course, is a definition. And then going to Malibu High School and growing up there a bit was also a big part of it. Being able to see the beach from the track field was a beautiful experience. And I got to play cello in Malibu High School, and that started my cello journey, an orchestral journey. I started playing guitar around 7 years old when my mom asked me the question. She was like, what instrument would you like to play? And, I saw this performance when I was a kid of this guy playing a piano recital. And something about it, I'm a very competitive person. Something about it, it was just so good that I was like, damn, that's what I would like to do, but I don't want to be that guy. So give me a guitar. So it was the opposite to me from a piano, which is how I kind of got into guitar. And then she started giving me lessons, but then, from there, started picking it up on my own pace. And it just kept evolving into what it is today with bands and the music that I play and the music I create and compose.
It's funny because it's, when you go back, not even back to Hendrix, but you go back to the old blues artists and people like that. And, black guitar players started rock and roll. And
yes,
and
they did.
It kind of fell by the wayside. You didn't see a lot of black guitarists for a long time. And now I'm on YouTube and I see people like you and other amazing African-American guitar players coming out, but not just rock and roll. You're playing a lot of R&B and it's really cool to see. Plus, dude, I got to tell everybody, you got the look, man. You got the rock star look already.
Thank you. My man.
Yeah, I think that comes a lot from, your parents are pretty good looking. Your mom and I have been friends for almost 20 years now. She's, of course, former Miss Pennsylvania and Miss USA runner-up and still highly sought-after model, Kim Marie Johnson. So let's talk about your relationship with her and then your relationship with your dad. As you told me before, it's how important the parental influences are, and you give them both a lot of credit for who you are as a person today.
100% everything. And, they're always very kind about it. And, they, my mom specifically empowers me in so many ways with the things that she says. Give me a lot of strength. She's taken a lot of time and energy and effort from her life to spend with me and to make sure that I got to live the life that I want to lead. So my gratefulness and the amount of blessings that I've received from her are unlimited. So my mom's first to me, and then my father's great too. He was good and stern, so.
That's important.
Yeah.
Keeping us on the straight and narrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, your mom's an amazing person, though. I just sitting down talking to her, she has so much life wisdom for someone who's not old and not, she doesn't look like somebody who's had a hard life, but she's had a life, that's for sure.
My mom has come from struggles that many people would not make it through. Mm-hmm. And then she, on top of getting through those struggles, she overcame them and then became the person that she was and still is to this day. What am I talking about was, she's always been on her own movement, making her own motion, making her own waves, and overcoming so many different obstacles. And, even when she had me, she was still, like, doing the same thing, putting that much energy into her life and into her human experience. And my mom's my biggest role model.
Yeah, I can tell when we were just hanging out, you and your mom and I in West Hollywood area a few weeks back, and your relationship comes through shining. I mean, I can tell how close you guys are, but also, as I said, I've known her a while, and the way she just talks about you and how much she believes in you is it's pretty inspirational in itself. So yeah, good for you, man. Plus, from looking at it from not a son, we're talking a woman who's got a amazing head on her shoulders and is also super tall and super beautiful, and she just seems to go through life, just whatever happens, she just knocks it out of the way and moves forward. So
yes, yeah. She is the GOAT.
Yeah, I've always admired her for that. You've been, I don't know if it's staff writing or what you've been doing with a company called Bleeding Fingers, a publishing company you've been working with. How did that start, and what's your experience been, or how was it with those guys?
Working at Remote Control and Bleeding Fingers is such a beautiful experience in terms of, being able to be at the studio and in the environment of so many amazing composers. Is just forever inspirational, and so many people who are very knowledgeable and experienced in their fields.
It's nice to be able to learn while you're working.
That's exactly what it is. It's all about learning, and the opportunity that I had going in after high school, instantly beginning to work there. It continues to teach me so much.
Yeah, well, and that's one of the things I like about you the most is you're a very humble guy, and I think you see your life as being full of a lot of, I hate the word blessings, but I mean it comes down to the fact that you do have a lot of things surrounding your life that are pretty spectacular, and I like the way that you appreciate them and you value them so much. It's obvious.
Thank you.
Let's talk about band situations. I've mostly thought of you just from YouTube and things like that you're more of a solo guy. But do you like the give and take of the band situation? I know you've been in quite a few, and you were saying you were just starting a new band project now. And do you really like the band situation more than kind of the solo artist thing? And who are the people you've enjoyed working with the most in the band sort of environment?
It's a great question.
Thank you. I knew it was. And I asked that.
That's a fire question. In terms of musical collaboration as a whole, I think that, it's such a innate human experience and such a raw human experience. Something that we get to share for brief moments, and sometimes, those moments last longer and turn into magnificent things. So for me, I'm always open to creating new creations, just, making worlds, and whether that's with people or with myself, like I will always be creating music, and I would love to be open to working with other people, whether it's my band playing my music, or music that we created as a whole, or, other bands that I play guitar in. Being able to share my passion and love for this earth and world through my artistry is always an immaculate experience, especially with other people. Being able to share human experiences, by far the most important thing. It'd be sucking if I had to do it all alone all the time.
But, we were talking about band situations, and you You and I had talked about when I look at your style, I really never thought of you as someone who needs a second guitarist or a full-time keyboard player to provide rhythm for you while you go off into solos and stuff. You seem to be able to fly across the fretboard in any situation, but that was an interesting conversation. And then today you told me, I've been thinking a lot about that. So where are you at with that now in the new band situation?
So thank you for that. First off, it was an awesome conversation to have with you. That was when we were with my mom. Mm-hmm. And, now it's like we've been working and rehearsing together, working on songs. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited to release more music and being able to now have people that I collaborate with mm-hmm. and work with on a consistent basis. I'm just like, damn, like it's a fresh experience, especially with the people that I'm working with. Again, I'm grateful because the people I'm working with are super dope, cool.
That's good. And then I know this is a question you get asked a lot, but are you one of those guys, you do sing a lot? Do you prefer to play and sing, or is bringing on a vocalist something in the future? Where are your thoughts with that? Because your voice, you come out with some cool melodies, and your voice is really accessible. I really like it a lot.
At the end of the day, I'm never judging the format in which the melodies in my mind come out of. Mm-hmm. It's always it's not just anything. It's whatever that moment encapsulates.
Right.
So if it feels like, oh, I'm going to sing this melody right here and it's in that moment, then that's what it's going to be. Or this guitar lick right here fits in this pocket in this moment, it's just based off that feel. Or if it's like, would be so dope, this melody line would be sung beautifully mm-hmm. by a cello or by an amazing female vocalist. Mm-hmm. Whatever the inspiration comes out as is what the inspiration comes out as. And I never know what that is. It happens to come out as guitar a lot. It happens to come out as vocals a lot. It comes out as cello. It comes out as things I produce, compose. I'm never judging the art.
Right. So basically, if a singer came along that you like, you're happy to play with them. And if you're the singer, you're happy with that. So I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Well, let's let people hear what we've been talking about in the guy we have on the show right now. So we're going to play one of your songs. This is called Your Mind. Nino on the Stephen Savage Show.
Love of my life, I want to wake up with you. Let's spend some time just looking up at the moon, me and you. Cause you're running through my mind, baby, take your time tonight. Let's stay up all night, watching movies till sunrise. Make me feel magnificent, so interesting. You're mine, you're mine, you're mine, you're mine. Ooh, you got me wanting your embrace. Cupid, that boy is ruthless. Shot me in the face, now I'm in. Close the doors to the rocket ship entrance, and let's head to other worlds we ain't ever been before. Stay up all night, watching movies till sunrise. You make me feel magnificent, so interesting. You're mine, you're mine, you're mine, you're mine.
All right. Great great tune. Tell us a little bit about that one. What's the backstory on that song?
Love.
That's all I need to know. Was it how long, when did you write this?
This one came out about 2 years ago, and, it's just full of my love and passion.
There is a lot of passion in that song.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just take your word for it and take my ears for it. And let's talk about recording for a minute. You have a home studio, I know, but what other recording facilities have you been working in and with lately? And do you have any favorites?
I will always say the comfortability of being at home and making music is awesome.
Right.
I do enjoy going into a studio with a proper stack, whether that's AMP and NoHo or a lockout I have with the band. Being able to get that live air from an amplifier, it's always beautiful. But, the home is becoming more and more of a studio setup with more and more things being added. So, the goal is eventually won't even be needing to leave my house, although I should still probably touch some grass at times.
Well, when you're touring, if you want to record, then you can't fly back and forth to your house. So.
Exactly. Got to figure out a touring rig.
Yeah, and it's great that the technology nowadays is at a point, well, look, this studio here, it's just, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing, the film editing, TV and commercial editing, plus doing podcasts and recording music, all in my house, which is pretty amazing. So I totally get it.
Yeah, technology is very efficient and functional these days.
Yeah, and it's even like, this is a pretty humble studio, but it does what I need it to do,
Yeah.
Speaking of amplifiers and recording, what's your dream guitar and amplifier setup? If you could have any setup in the world, what would it be? Is it what you're using now, or do you have a sort of a dream setup that you're working toward?
I do really enjoy my current setup, which is it's pretty simple. I mean, it's amp modeler, quad cortex, with a wah pedal on the side, and I can usually just run that through monitors. Although, if we're talking about a dream setup, though, I love the orange rock reverb 4x12 stack.
Oh, right.
That thing to me is freaking sexy, beautiful. Everything, the way that thing sounds, just immaculate. And for me, it doesn't even, like, the pedals sound good through it because that amp is just so good. That amp is so fire. It just does the work. So I love that amp.
Idlewild isn't just a scenic mountain town, it's a living gallery. The Art Alliance of Idlewild supports local artists, funds youth art programs, and hosts world-class events that turn our town into an art lover's destination. Become a member, attend an event, or donate to support the arts. Follow us on Instagram at Art Alliance of Idlewild, or visit artinidlewild.org and be part of our creative community.
Every small town has that one special spot, a place where strangers become friends and friends share great times together. Idlewild, California has just that spot, Terrence Place Pub and Gallery, where live music and good company create amazing memories. We feature fine wines along with international and domestic tap beers. Our vibe is welcoming, fun, and eclectic. Terrence Place Pub and Gallery is proud to be an official sponsor of the Idlewild International Festival of Cinema. Come and experience the alpine charm of Terrence Place, located in the Village Lane in downtown Idlewild, California. We invite you to stop by and have a great time.
It's funny, Orange has been around for so many decades, and they've always kind of played second fiddle to Marshall, but the fact is that you see a lot of, like, even vintage video of live bands from the 70s, and there's always an Orange amp on stage.
Orange amps are classic.
Yep. That's amazing. It's just people, when you ask, usually if they're non-guitar players, you say, oh, what amplifiers are popular with rock stars? Oh, Marshall, Fender, but Orange is pretty phenomenal and always has been. So I should get one here in the studio.
I mean, you have everything in the studio, man.
I don't have an Orange, though.
If you add that, then you'll have everything on top of everything. This man's studio is crazy. I'm in here just like, wow. I'm still, wow. It's been 3 hours I've been in here. I'm still like, wow.
I'm glad you're having fun.
Oh, it's a blast.
As Nino said earlier, man, you just pull things out of little cubby holes and dark corners, and it's something.
I watched him pull out the most beautiful 2 nylon string guitars out of nowhere. Thin air. They just appeared.
Those are custom made in Mexico City. They are, I don't know, man. It just made me fall in love with the nylon string Spanish and flamenco sound. So I'm glad you had a chance to try them out. There'll be more opportunities for you, because I think you and I are going to end up doing some movie scoring stuff together if we can work out all the details. And
oh yeah,
we'll be using electric guitars, a lot of steel string acoustics, but also those 2 little guitars are those 2 classical.
Yeah, we got to try the mule on the wall.
Yeah, there you go. The mule caster is that's one of our favorites here at the studio. So. Who were your influences guitar-wise? I just heard you playing some Hendrix a few minutes ago, so I'm imagining he's one of your idols, mine as well. But what other guitar players are you influenced by, both older and newer?
I mean, when it comes to inspirations, guitar-wise, even musical-wise, it's everywhere. It really goes genreless. To name a few people that I feel like have really inspired me would, I think, narrow it down too much. There's just too many inspirations. I mean, I've heard jazz trumpet lines from like Take 5 that has inspired me.
Right.
You know, Jimi Hendrix is obviously an amazing, immaculate player. I love Randy Rhoads. You know, we got some classics. You got like EVH, newer. I've been really messing with, honestly, he's not really known as a guitarist, but he does know how to play guitar, and I really love his melodies and progressions. I'd say Dominic Fike, really cool.
Oh, wow. So you have a wide spectrum of people that you're into, and that's cool.
Yeah, that's just to name a few people, and I'm not even ranking. I couldn't even rank these people of like what is the importance of them. It's everywhere.
It's like when people ask me, what's your favorite movie, or who's your favorite director? And I go,
you're like, how do I choose?
Forget about it, because it's going to change in 5 minutes anyway.
That's what I'm saying. You know, I always get stuck in these rabbit holes with different people. I've been listening to a lot of Santana lately. So fire, you know?
Right. Well, all right. Let's drop another one of your tunes on the podcast. So how about we listen to a song called Cobra, and then you can tell us how that one came about. So everybody, this is Nino and the song Cobra. Very, very cool song. The stuff you write and the stuff that you record is, I don't know, there's such a, it's almost like you have a 1 foot in the past because your influences are sort of obvious, but also the passions that you show are kind of vintage. But then there's something about your music that sounds pretty like off the shelf new, you know, and I don't know what causes that. It's an interesting sort of walk down the tightrope you have of paying homage in your playing to the classical guys, the classic rock guys and the classic R&B guys, and now the stuff you're coming up with, which has its own vibe to it.
You know, I just take everything in. You know, I take everything in, and whatever comes out of that. For that one, Cobra, you know, it was a guitar piece, and the inspiration behind it was actually Karate Kid, technically.
Oh, wow.
Because, you know, there was that show, Cobra Kai, that came out a few years ago, and I
Right.
remember I was very heavily into it at the time. This song came out a few years ago, but this is one of my first pieces of just straight guitar work, you know, straight doing guitar riffing. So, you know, it holds a special place in my heart. But, you know, that one's gets you in that mood, you know, you fight,
Yeah.
you know.
Are you
Well, don't box people, please.
Yeah, you just mentioned Karate Kid, but do movies influence you think, in your music at all, just the storytelling in general?
Yeah, definitely cinema, like cinematic things.
Mm-hmm.
More than movies are spectacular inspiration. And, you know, a lot of movies, honestly, I'm a big... you know, not to nerd out here, I'm a big anime guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm a big animation fan, but I love my Japanese anime. There's a lot of Japanese anime that's inspired me to create the music that I do. You know, overcoming challenges,
Mm-hmm.
having your different arcs as a person. You know, it's storytelling to me. It's the same. So it is similar to a movie. It's cinematic.
Mm-hmm. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Where would you like to be, and where do you see yourself? Where do you see your career going between now and, let's say, a decade from now? Do you have a set plan, or are you just kind of riding the tide?
It's a balance. I have a balance between I'm riding the tide, you know, staying ready, staying on my toes for whatever comes next. But,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I definitely have a vision for myself and my music going forward. You know, going to go beyond the stars.
Yeah, I'm going to get a T-shirt made. Got to go beyond the stars. Excellent, man. This has been fun. I really appreciate you coming up just ended up, like I said, it was just kind of off the cuff. Let's do a podcast while I got you here, because I've been following your career for a few years now and just watching you grow, and it really is nice having you in here. So,
and I mean, the honor's all mine, Savage, to be here and doing this podcast, you know.
Great, man. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you. So that's going to wrap it up for this episode of the Steven Savage Show. But before I let you go, Nino, tell us about how one can follow you and keep up with your rocket-like career. Do you have a website or someplace where things are posted for you, or where can people go?
Yes, check out all my socials are under the same thing. It's Nino of the Hills. Go check it out. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, whatever it is that you use.
Great. Nino of the Hills. Awesome. So that'll do it. Another episode of the Steven Savage Show in the can. I want to thank everyone for listening in, and of course for spreading the word about the show, which has been vital to increasing our listenership on a daily basis on every platform, taking us into the thousands of downloads every week. We at the Savage Podcasting Network truly appreciate it. And of course, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you find your favorite podcasts. So for my producer and filmmaking sidekick, Nicole Hughes, engineer Maurice Sudo, Cranium Wheel executive producer Steve Tuma, the entire Savage Podcasting Network team, as well as for Nino and myself, thank you for listening, and we will see you next time. Thanks a lot, Nino.
Thank you, legendary Savage.